morning. We're going to do the notes that are on congruent chords and arcs. I know you have these online, but I wanted to go through these and make sure that we understood some of the definitions. The top part up here, you can read on the paper that's online. I'm not going to go through all of those, except these things have to be met. So basically what it's simply saying is that if this measurement here is the same as this measurement here, this arc is the same as this arc. So that way we can use that as an equal. Also, if this is perpendicular, then it splits these two, which these are the same, means these are the same, and this is the same distance from the center of the circle. So you can go back and look at all of the writing that you have on the ones that were posted, but I want to work some of the problems because I know this is the part that you're going to turn in. Your assignment's going to be over the ones that we look at right here. So first of all, right here when it says find x, because this fits our requirement that's up here at the top where these are the same length, these two are equal. So we have 7x plus 24 equals 115. So if we subtract our 24 from both sides, we get 7x equals 91. Divide both sides by 7, and your x equals 13. All it asks us to find here was x, so we don't have to plug it back in. That's simply our answer. Same thing on number 3, because we're not going to go over 2 and stuff. You guys have those on the notes you can look at online. I just want to go through a few of these that I'm going to assign so that we'll know how to set the problem up. This one is saying that this is a measurement that's the same, which tells us that these chords connect sides of our circle, but they're not the diameter. Those are also equal. So we end up with 9x minus 34 equals 4x plus 1. Remember, we need to pretend like this is the center we're solving. So I'm going to subtract my 4x from both sides. Add 34. So 5x equals 35. X equals 7. But notice here that this particularly asks us to find xy, and that's xy. So we're not quite finished. This is correct. This is 7. But to find xy, I need to say that I have 4 times 7 plus 1, which is 29. So that's actually the measurement that we're looking for. Wait a minute, chance to write it down. Remember, you can pause, go back, see me write it again. That's a good thing about having the videos here. Okay, so on this one, we're finding x. We're given this arc, and we are given that these two are the same, which means that these two arcs are the same. The problem is we're only given this measurement as far as the outside, and I don't have anything as far as a number or anything that this is set equal to. What I do know, since these are the same, is that this is also 6x minus 20. This whole part that's out here, I can find. If we think back to homework 1, I can say the whole circle is 360 degrees. If I take away 76, which is the part that we know, we're left with 284. So this whole part is 284. So let's set up our equation that way. The whole part that's in the orange here. So we're going to say 6x minus 20 plus 6x minus 20, these two, equals 284. So that ends up giving me 12x minus 40 equals 284. Remember, we're still solving an equation here. So 12x equals 324, divided by 12, and x is 27. So a little bit trickier on that one because we weren't given another measurement like we were, or expression on the one above it. Here we had to say if this was the same, then we could say this was also 6x minus 20, set it equal to the whole arc, and then we could solve. Okay? I will tell you on number 6 that this picture is a little bit confusing and it's kind of small, but if I write in 5x minus 34 here and 2x minus 4 here, it matches one of our situations up here at the top that's saying that parts are also congruent if we have this right angle. So we're just going to have that these are equal. 5x minus 34 equals 2x minus 4. So again, if I move this one over, I have 3x. Add 34 to both sides, we end up with 30. X equals 10. We're looking for MP. So 5 times 10, 5 times 10 minus 34 equals 16. So that's our MP. So these two parts here are also the same. Just be sure you're labeling. Some of you have not shown your work on your assignments and it's kind of hard for me to see what you're doing. So make sure that you are showing it on your picture and that you're showing this part of your work also. Okay, flip it over on the back. This is telling us that we have DE and FG. These are equal. So 11x plus 15 equals 32x minus 27. So again, I'm going to subtract 11x from both sides. I get 21. And you could go the other direction. Just be careful about your negative. If I add 27 here, add 27, I'm going to get 42. So x equals 2. But remember that says we're finding DE. So if this is what DE is, then I'm going to plug that back in. 11 times 2 plus 15 equals 37. And that's DE. So most of these, the parts are going to be equal. Occasionally, you're going to have it where you've got to look at the outside. We got to be careful for looking at the whole thing or part. Some of you had an issue with radius and diameter. Remember that it's going to be half if it's radius. If it's diameter, it's the whole thing. These kind of work the same way. This tells us that we're given RS. So if we look at this, RS, this whole line is 18. So that means half of that line is 9 because we have the perpendicular section there. And this says TY, this arc out here is 42. Well, if this is 42, this one's also 42 because of that same situation that this matches our congruency and equal parts that we had in the very beginning. So also if this is 9, this whole thing matches that situation. So this is 9 and this is 9, which also tells us that this is 42 and this is 42 for our degrees. So if we think about our picture labeling like we did a long time ago when we were all out, we can look at it this way. So first of all, RS is the same as TU. So this one's 18. We have that the measure of TY here is 42, which is the same as YU. So this is also 42, and that's in a degree because that's an arc. Then it asks us for RS. Okay, well think about if I add these two together from R to S, remember it's 2 letters, so it wants the short way, R to S. I'm going to add those and get 84. Both of these are parts. We have WS which is going from where? From here to here, and TV, which is going from here to here. Those measurements are both 9. So we can do that from the information that we were given. So go back and label your parts, draw it bigger if you need to, so that you can find it out. Okay, these are talking about this part, QM in MR, because of the situation with the center, the equal distance, the right angles. These two things are equal. So we have 6x minus 11 equals 2x plus 9. Solve. So I know I did that kind of quick, but a lot of you are already looking at it worked out. I just wanted you to see that we did start out with those being equal. This is asking us to find MN. So if I want MN, I want this whole line. Okay, well I know that half of it is 2x plus 9. So if I plug this in and say 2 times 5 plus 9, that gives me 19, which is half. I want the whole thing. So if I want MN, I'm going to say 19 times 2, which gives me 38. So be careful about what it's asking for. Okay, we're not going to do all of these down here at the bottom. The ones I'm going to have you do on the homework are doing with Pythagorean theorem. Remember Pythagorean theorem, when I'm given a right triangle, says a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we're simply looking at on here, this part. Okay, so this is wanting us to find VW, okay, which is this whole length right here. But what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start right there in the triangle. So basically I have this right triangle that has 5, 13, and I need to know what that side is. So remember when we're given the hypotenuse that we can subtract and say 13 squared minus 5 squared. You can put it in here if you want to. You would have x squared plus 5 squared equals 13 squared, but we're still going to end up subtracting. So if I subtract, I end up getting 144. And so this side that we're looking for, the square root, we want the square root of 144. This is, we'll say, is WZ. So WZ equals the square root of 144, which is 12. So if half of it is 12, the whole thing, VW, is 12 times 2, which is 24. So we're going back to Pythagorean theorem. Same thing on 15. We're given this part that's down here. They're telling us that HK, the whole thing is 30, so it means half is 15. They're telling us that PM is 8. Well, if this one's 15, this one's 15. So the triangle that we have with our right angle, we have 15 and 8. And so we're going to know pH, which is this side right here. So this is what we're looking for. So we're going to use 8 squared plus 15 squared. We're adding because we're given the two sides. We'll call this our x. So we're looking for x squared. So if we add these together, we get 289. Take the square root, and you get 17. We only want that part. We're not doubling it or anything. So this is our answer. Pythagorean theorem. Okay, I'm going to post it when I do the assignment online, but the problems that I want you to do that I'm going to grade that go with the problems we just did, we're going to do on the homework number 3, 1, 3, 5, 7, 10, 13, and 15. So I'll write it on the bottom here also. Your homework number 3 is going to be 1, 3, 5, 7, 10, 13, and 15. Now, if you want to do the others, I will grade those and give you feedback on them. But these are the ones that I'm going to count as far as your grade because they go along with the exact problems that we did. So email me if you have questions, and I will talk to you again later.